Hi, I'm Josh with Woodland Mills, and this video is about our WG24 PTO driven stump grinder. This lower box here is the crate that the stump grinder comes in. It's 38 inches long, 30 inches deep, and 36 inches high. The shipping weight is 520 pounds. The product weight is 470 pounds of that. Now we stock this for our Canadian customers in our Whitby, Ontario location, for our US customers in our Buffalo, New York location. In Europe, we're going to be stocking it in Gothenburg, Sweden. And for international customers outside of those areas, we do have warehouses set up to provide shorter lead times than us shipping it out of North America. So please check the website for a list of those warehouses and locations we can also ship from. The steel crate that the stump grinder is sitting on here is the lower half of the total steel crate, and you can see that the stump grinder comes about 95% assembled. So this chip deflector has to be bolted on, and that's 3 bolts with lock nuts. We also have the manual tube at the top that comes separate, and it needs to be bolted on with 2 bolts to the top of the grinder. And then we have the PTO shaft. Now we provide a PTO shaft with a slip clutch. It's a trimmable PTO shaft. So it's trimmable in length to fit your tractor and your 3-point hitch lengths. And with the slip clutch, it needs to be bolted onto the grinder. And then there's a break-in procedure for the slip clutch. And that break-in procedure is covered in the manual that comes with the product. This is a direct drive, so that PTO shaft goes straight from the tractor straight to the flywheel. The flywheel spins at 540 RPMs. It's a 24-inch flywheel, 3/4 inch thick plate. It has 34 tungsten carbide teeth on it that are removable and replaceable, as well as resharpenable. That 24-inch flywheel rides on a 2-inch diameter main shaft with flange bearings at the face, which we've hidden inside for durability, and on the back side, which is exposed for easier maintenance. This housing that houses the flywheel is all made out of heavy gauge. So this is all 5/16 thick plate. And that's the face, the rear, and the shroud that houses the flywheel. All that is done through a unibody design at the back, which connects it to your 3-point hitch. So in that design, we've passed through all the flanges and tabs and then welded them on both faces. So all these tabs that hold the flywheel are passed through the front plate, they go all the way to the rear plate, and they're welded in both surfaces to give us lots of strength and rigidity. When you're stump grinding, there's quite a bit of side-to-side force, and we need to be able to transfer that straight to the 3-point hitch system without any play. This whole flywheel assembly pivots on these pivot points here and on the far side, and these are greasable pivots. And what that allows you to do is, while you're driving through the stump, so you cut in a forward motion through the stump, if you're going too quickly, the flywheel is going to pivot and it's going to rock back so that you don't overload the flywheel, and then as you slow down, it's going to swing back through as it cuts its way through. So while you're doing your grinding, you're going to watch to make sure you're not swinging too far back and letting the flywheel cut its way through. You don't want to drag it through, you need to let it cut its way through the stump. But this pivot system allows you to do that. It also comes with a locking pin for transport. It's currently installed on the far side. This up here is a chainsaw holder. So your chainsaw bar can get passed through here. You can clamp it in place, and the chainsaw itself rests on this rubber pad on the top. And that just gives you somewhere to put your chainsaw when you're heading out to do work. We don't recommend you leave the chainsaw on there during the stump grinding process, but it gives you somewhere to put it to get it out to the bush with you. If we come around the rear, I can show you the flange bearing where the PTO shaft and the slip clutch are going to attach at the back. This is a 6-spline PTO shaft attachment. And you'll see the flange bearing here, the Zerk fitting up at the top for grease. You're also going to see the way we've built this in a unibody style. So we have all these plates of metal, corner welded, seam welded, to give us a box frame, and that gives us rigidity to bring all of that load up to the main pivots and then into the 3-point hitch. Our rear legs here are down for storage, but this pin and this further hole here allows us to raise them. So once we've got it on the tractor and we've picked it up, then we reinstall these legs in the high position, and that way they stay out of the way during the stump grinding process. In this box is a common accessory that we sell with the grinder. This is a set of 6 replacement teeth for the flywheel. Because we can cut up to 6 inches below grade, you don't know what's under the ground embedded in the roots. So you got foreign objects, metal, rocks, you can damage teeth, and this will give you what you need so you can get those teeth swapped out and still get the job done. Now I want to get this stump grinder down. We'll get it on a tractor, we'll put it through a few stumps, we'll show you how it swings to mediate the pace at which you grind, and we'll show you how effective it is at doing the job it's been built to do. So as you can see, I had a tight spot there with this cedar to the side of the trail, so that's the one I'm going to work on now. I'll get the chainsaw off of here, we'll get the tree out of the way, bucked up, and then I'll take care of that stump, and I'll grind this older one here on the other side as well. I'm just trying to put a trail down through here, and as we go along we take the tight spots out and we get rid of the stump as well. It makes it a lot smoother. So we've got the tree out of the way, we've got our stump. I've cut it off 6 inches above grade. You want to get it cut as low as you can without damaging your chainsaw chain, because the more you take off with the chainsaw, the less you got to take off with the grinder. This stump is about 19 inches long, 13 or 14 inches wide. I'm going to set the chainsaw aside. We'll prep the grinder. Go over and show you what we've done to get the grinder ready. So we've got the PTO shaft installed with the slip clutch on the grinder side. We've done the break-in procedure on the PTO clutch. Now we just have to pull the pin for the swivel. Set that aside. Now I'm going to go on the tractor. We'll get it spooled up to 540 PTO speed, and we'll show you how to grind a stump. So as you can see, I ground this stump down about 4 inches below grade. We've got a nice mixture of the chips and the topsoil now. We'll put it all back in this place so we don't get a dip in the trail. You can see how the process works. You start on the one side of the stump. You work your way through nice and slow, small passes. You can load your tractor up pretty good on the smaller horsepower as you go, so you can listen to the tractor as well to see how much load you're applying. And then I'm also watching the pivot to see if I'm getting it to swing out. So that's the pivoting motion I'm watching for when I'm on the tractor, and I want to make sure that I'm not applying too much forward, more than it can cut, and then you'll see this start to swing out as I do that. So that's kind of keeping your eye on it to make sure you're not overloading the grinding teeth and just letting them do the work as they go through the stump. We're going to go ahead and grind a few more stumps, a few different species of tree, clear a bit more trail, and we'll take it from there. So we took it out, we put it through some stumps, we showed you how to work it, how it works. I hope you found this video informative. This has been Josh with Woodland Mills, featuring the WG24 PTO driven stump grinder.